study the dinosaurs.
She raised her bottom for the horny dinosaur, sensually polishing my knob.
Fingertips on my brass
Creature's
knob.
thick
Couldn't
juice
hold back my deadbolt.
back doors open.
Round
Paula
brass
wasn't built to endure me. Glistening knob. Someone should have stopped me after the second book. Hello, and welcome to this year's Valentine special in which I, your host, am going to fry my neurons to entertain each and every one of you. I've been scarred for life and I'm gonna share my trauma with you. Now let's get you accustomed to the magical world of inanimate love interests. And if that is not deranged enough for you, rest assured we will get into some rather steamy dinosaur romance later on into this video, because right now we are focusing on the more vanilla romances where the MMCs are more easily acceptable, like pillows, for example. This one is my personal favorite from the 4 books I'm gonna present to you today. Stuffed is a 70-page short novel about Annie, an anime-obsessed young lady who can't stand physical touch, let alone sexual encounters. She would much rather use one of her pillows for that, the same one she uses for head support, even if, and I quote, "it's slightly moist, but I don't care, I just flip it around." Feeling bad for the pillow? Don't, because it's alive and it loves every second of it. I am with Elizabeth on this one. Maybe, like me, you're wondering, why is it alive? Well, one of the pillow's feathers comes from a phoenix. So naturally, the pillow is a sentient object that can drain life force to turn into a human. Makes sense, right? But who likes humans anyway? Anime characters are way better. That's what Annie believes, and I completely agree with her. But girl Sebastian from Black Butler, you could have chosen any anime character, and you chose the pillow now turned human to transform into Sebastian. How did he turn into a human? Well, he almost killed a guy, but that's not very important. Neither is calling your private part hoo-ha in a book. But everything being slippery is what got to me. We have slippery complement, slippery folds, slippery, I don't want to say what it is, but it's basically hoo-ha again. Slips in, slips out. Oh look, he slips in again. Slip along, slips alongside, slips slowly. Miss Sylvia Marrow surprisingly managed to make the human pillow a very caring boyfriend. No personality, but very caring. His name is Ori, and his sole purpose in life is to satisfy and protect Annie. That is his personality. He refers to the girl as my Annie from the beginning and seems to be the biggest simp ever. Oh, Annie, Annie, my darling, my wondrous Annie. She made use of me again tonight and it was glorious. Please, just tell me what your ideal man would be. I want to be everything you desire. My only reason for being is to please you, Annie. Help me. Because we're meant to be together. Because I'm literally made for you. Because I will do anything it takes to claim you, serve you, and keep you. Quite possessive at times. No one touches my Annie but me. But given the absurdity of the book, it is quite cute. As said before, our human pillow wants to satisfy Annie in any way, shape, and form. And if he wants to sustain an entire sexual encounter with Annie, he needs to drain life force from other people. Otherwise, he just flops and bends. And my imagination is just stuck on Sebastian from Black Butler just flopping around. You know what? I'll give Sylvia this. Being able to create your perfect boyfriend is a nice idea. It is cute. You know what's even cuter than that? Ori the pillow allowing Annie to shape his dick as to be perfect for her. Isn't that romantic? I get to decide what it's going to look like and stuff. Exactly. You'll be the one who gets to benefit from it, so why shouldn't you get to decide its features? Just like the rest of me. It belongs to you, Annie. Now, what would your reaction be to that? Well, Annie's reaction is an evil laugh. Mwahaha! This is going to be fun. But the important part is that everything turned out great. It's exactly as I asked for. Beautiful, if ever one could be described as such. And balls to match. There were certain scenes that were very, very funny for me. Like Annie's opinion of Ori during a spicy scene. It's so unlike what I've seen from him so far. So alpha, I can't help but comply. Or this other scene where tentacles are mentioned. And Annie says, "Come on in, the back door is open." There are other scenes as well, but I'll let your curiosity roam free. But if stuffed is not enough for you, no worries, because you can continue your literature with double stuffed. Now, Miss Sylvia Marrow has a similar sexually inclined bestie, Vera Valentine, and I'm pretty sure you know this one. It is the door one. Basically, Zeus procreated with this perfectly positioned knothole on this really sexy tree, which resulted in a sentient door, who has to have sex with Tana in order to become a human. Tana is the tenant of this door's apartment. What is even more interesting about this book is that it has a thriller or a mystery backdrop, which I kind of appreciate. This book, as Stuffed did, dives into the condition of the human being. What are we? What is our purpose in life? Why is there a pink tax? Our door believes that paying extra for a pink toolkit is very silly. But why are they made like that? Why should you pay more for smaller, flimsy things because you're a woman? That seems silly to me. Which I agree with. As silly as it is, I would give my last penny to have one of those for myself. The whole story is from the door's point of view, and I just couldn't help myself but laugh hysterically every time how he feels is being described. She laid her soft fingertips on the cool brass of my knob. She'd never jiggled her key uncomfortably or twisted the knob too hard. No, not Tana. Try as I might, I couldn't hold back my deadbolt, which slid free with excitement at the touch of her soft cheek. The door, being able to see in and outside of the apartment, realizes that Tana is being stalked by this weird guy who is also a murderer. So, this is an incentive for him to turn into a human to be able to protect her. Zeus somehow made it possible for the door to be able to enter Tana's dreams, which he does in order to convince her to do certain things with him. Specifically, we must be together in the way you are with your shivering blue stick. The logistics of their sexual encounter would have exceeded my mental capacities. But rest assured, Vera helped me imagine every second of it. She started polishing my knob with slow, smooth strokes that stirred something deep in my wood. Dropping her chest and cheek down to the rest of the soft fabric, she tensed at the first cold kiss of my doorknob. Tana held her breath, rocking back to slowly impale herself on her front door. Finally, it worked, and he transformed from a door into a very tall, attractive man with a dangling condom in front of a poor old lady who happened to pass by in the hall. Along this very short novella, I encountered the good boy theme one too many times. Dries the door wants to be a really good boy for Tana. So does Ori. Good boys who enjoy working for my praise. Can you be a good boy? I like being called baby and good boy more than anything. So well, my good boy. I was a good boy. Now we know that somehow a girl and a door can work. But what's happening with a murderer? Well, immediately after Tana teaches Dries the door now turned human, one of her many sexual teachings that he has to learn, the murderer makes his appearance and ends up shooting Dries. Months later, we find out that the murderer got a concussion because the door he shot fell on him and banged him in the head. He dies in prison due to that concussion. And if you're wondering what happened to the two lovebirds, well, the human door is actually half werewolf and turns back into a door every full moon. But no worries, Tana will take care of that. Because as we all know, when there is a will, there is a way. And sex with inanimate object is the way. Anyone can write and upload something to Kindle Unlimited, and I think that is kind of beautiful. I strive to one day gain the potent imagination that Sylvia and Vera are blessed with. Now we're moving on to the last two books of this video, which I shouldn't have read. That's because now my brain is in urgent need of a thorough scrub. With sulfuric acid, ravaged by the raptor and taken by the pterodactyl. These two were not a TikTok-induced choice. It was rather my poor decision-making skills. These are very short, 20-page novels that portray Christie's deep interest and fascination with the dinosaur species. Very, very, very deep interest. Both of these stories are set into a new world where we have university, malls, coffee, and also deadly dinosaurs. On one hand, we have Paola, this very sweet young lady who loves reading books, and her one dream is to be able to attend higher education. Unfortunately, this world is cruel, and very few have this privilege, and she's not one of them. Carlton, her brother, will be the one granted funding to attend university. This just destroys her spirit, and as expected, she starts contemplating her future life. What will she do? Where will she go? Oh, what's that? A raptor? Imminent death was all she could fear as she closed her eyes, but there was no biting or tearing of her skin. Instead, she felt something pressing against the back of her thighs, trying to separate them. Something was probing between her legs. The dinosaur was trying to mate with her. Okay, so that's one terrifying, very horny, very deadly raptor. Surely Paola would be scared to death. Well, actually, the reality is that with a raptor trying to mount her, she felt sexually animalistic herself. Paola maintained her position, deciding she would let the dinosaur dictate the course of events. In truth, she was keen to see where it would go. Paola and the raptor weren't only mildly curious about one another, they were actually very adventurous. She altered the position, resulting in her bottom raising to offer a more effective angle for the horny dinosaur. Physically, she wasn't built to endure this type of mating. Brace yourselves, okay? She studied the dinosaurs with fascination. The introduction of a visual element encouraged her sexual curiosity. She was lost in the Jurassic blowjob. I can only say that the creature was just as curious as she was. This should be illegal. Then Paola's father kills her raptor. The end. Taken by the pterodactyl is similar in the sense that the main character does the deed with yet another dinosaur. I would say that this one is just a little bit better due to the aerial acrobatics. It really adds to the story. Diane, the cheerleader, was supposed to take care of her father's flock of sheep, but she gets attacked by a pterodactyl, and she loves every second of it. I didn't want to forget that Diane was a very ambitious young lady, and she wondered if she could have made it big as a media star, a Hollywood princess. Well, her story is a little bit different than that. She encountered the ferocious dinosaur, but the creature visibly tugged at the material until it ripped, revealing Diane's lacy white bra. It was already pecking at her lacy bra. The creature stepped backward, turning its head to examine her bare breasts with one large eye. She felt a rush of pleasure. She had been sure that she was going to be eaten. She had been warned about the big predator, had worried about what would happen if she were carried away by one. She'd never been warned about this. I do understand why she was surprised. She seemed to like the encounter. She wanted to be naked. She wanted to offer herself to the creature. Diane thought that the creature knew all the right buttons to push. She could feel the soft, warm skin pressed against her backside. There was no gentle, "this may hurt, honey," or any "tell me to stop if it hurts you." No, this creature was going to take what it wanted, and Diane couldn't say that she minded at all. From what I know, a pterodactyl can't talk, but you know what? The sky is the limit for Christy Sims. While the first story had a tragic ending, this one has a sweet ending. Our young lady decides to spend the night in the dinosaur's nest, hoping for a second romantic escapade. Seeing the Goodreads reviews for these two books made me feel less alone, because everyone and their mothers, hopefully not their mothers, is confused about what the hell is going on with Christy Sims' books. Great read aloud, some historical inaccuracies, but overall a tasteful depiction of interspecies romance in prehistoric times. Hoping for a follow-up. I don't understand life anymore. My beliefs have been questioned and my understanding of the world has been forever changed. That's the mark of a good flipping literature. Read it out loud to your lover, dramatically. That would be a very entertaining activity for a first date. Now we can't Ignore the real reviews for these books. What is happening to me? I think I kind of liked this one. Very imaginative and better writing than the last one I read. 3 stars. It was short and weird, but also surprisingly well written. While this one is tedious and kind of goes nowhere, I will say there are other novelettes about the Jurassic erotica from the author that are entertaining and more put together. Thank you for your time. You are now one small step closer to being a book critic, because let's be honest, I just proved that we need more of those. If you liked this video and want an even deeper dive into the whimsical world of deranged romances, rest assured there is enough content for that. Just say the word and I'll be on it. Hope you have a wonderful day.